Hi, girls. I am truly happy you've decided to listen to another episode with me today. I work very hard to create this content for you, researching the deep mechanics of the human psyche to give you the tools you need. So please, leave a like on the video. It really helps the YouTube algorithm promote my videos to more women like us who are ready to claim their power. Feel free to comment or ask anything you'd like in the space below. I read all of the comments, and it makes me so happy to see that you are enjoying and growing from this content. Today, we are talking about the shadow labyrinth effect. Most people in this world are tragically predictable. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, they speak their minds without filter, and they reveal their entire internal map within the first few weeks of meeting someone. To a man's predatory and colonialist instinct, an open book is a territory that has already been conquered. Once he knows your stories, your triggers, and your reactions, his brain checks a box and moves on. The hunt is over. But there is a different kind of woman, a woman who does not offer a map, but instead invites him into a labyrinth. The shadow labyrinth effect is the strategic construction of psychological depth and complexity that makes a man feel as though he is constantly exploring new, undiscovered corridors of your mind. It is about making him get lost in the mystery of who you are, ensuring that even when you are silent, your presence is echoing in the halls of his thoughts. To understand the power of the labyrinth, we must understand the concept of cognitive complexity. The human brain is naturally drawn to patterns it cannot quite solve. When you present yourself as a multi-layered individual with shadows, parts of your personality that are hinted at but never fully exposed, you trigger a deep, obsessive curiosity. You aren't just a person to him anymore. You become a psychological puzzle. The shadow labyrinth is built through the art of contradiction and the refusal to be categorized. You might be the most nurturing, warm person he knows one day, but the next, you reveal a sharp, analytical, and almost detached perspective on the world. These are not mood swings. They are glimpses into different rooms of your mind. He begins to realize that every time he thinks he has found the center of who you are, you turn a corner and reveal an entirely new depth. The shadow in the labyrinth refers to those parts of your psyche that feel a bit more primal, a bit more intellectual, or a bit more hidden. Most women try to hide their darker thoughts, their ambitions, or their more complex philosophies because they want to appear nice or easy. But being easy is the fastest way to be forgotten. To build your labyrinth, you must share your depth in fragments. Mention a book that changed your view on human nature, but don't explain why. Share a dream that felt like a premonition, then go back to sipping your coffee in silence. When he asks you what you're thinking, give him a response that is poetic rather than literal. You are creating a space where he has to use his own imagination to fill in the blanks. And when a man uses his imagination on you, he is already lost in your maze. This effect works so well because it forces him into a state of mental rumination. Rumination is the process of thinking about something over and over again, trying to find a resolution. Because a labyrinth has no obvious exit, he keeps wandering. He starts to analyze the way you looked at him during a certain conversation. He wonders about the meaning behind a cryptic comment you made about your past. He tries to reconcile your kindness with your sudden, cold insight. This mental labor is a form of investment. The more he thinks about you, the more important you become in his hierarchy of value. You are essentially taking up permanent residence in his subconscious. He isn't just dating you. He is trying to survive the maze you've built, and the challenge of it is more addictive than any simple romantic gesture. A key architect of the shadow labyrinth knows the power of the unspoken. In a world that talks too much, your silence is a corridor that leads nowhere and everywhere at once. When you are together, be present, but occasionally let your eyes go distant, as if you are looking at something miles away that he cannot see. When he asks where you went, just give him a soft, mysterious smile and bring the conversation back to him. This communicates that you have an inner life so vast and so complex that he is only a guest in it. It reminds him that he does not own your thoughts. This perceived distance creates a psychological tension, a desire to be let into those hidden rooms. He will work harder, be more attentive, and become more devoted just for the chance to understand a little bit more of the woman who stands before him. The beauty of this dynamic is that it creates a sense of eternal discovery. In most relationships, the spark dies because the discovery phase ends. But in a labyrinth, there is always a new turn. You must constantly be evolving, learning, and adding new layers to your own soul. The shadow labyrinth isn't a lie. It is an invitation to witness your growth. As you become more complex, your labyrinth expands. He stays because he is fascinated by the version of you he might meet tomorrow. He stays because he wants to find the key to the door you haven't opened yet. You become his most interesting project, his favorite mystery, and his greatest obsession. You are the one who holds the blueprint, girls. You decide which doors to open and which corridors to leave in the dark. By refusing to be an open book, you protect your essence and maintain a level of intrigue that makes you irreplaceable. A man might leave a woman he understands, but he will never leave a woman who keeps him guessing. He will never leave a woman whose mind is a labyrinth he hasn't finished exploring. This is not about being confusing. It is about being deep enough that he can never touch the bottom. You are the architect, and your mind is the most beautiful, dangerous place he has ever been. Thank you for listening to me today. It means a lot to have you here in this private corner of ours. Follow me if you want to hear more about how to master the invisible dynamics of power and attraction.